Today, we are on our way to one of the most tense borders in the world, the North Korea and the South Korea border.
We may even get to step into North Korea. I'm not sure. we might.
But that's not the plan though. That's not the goal. If there's a line, don't try to cross.
No?
Just stay on the South Korea side for now.
We have officially left Seoul. We are in the city called Paju. We are about 7 kilometers away from the DMZ area, but this first stop is called Imjingat Park, and it's also very, very important. It's a place where families can come and pray to send their wishes to lost family members that are in North Korea. Because a lot of the older generation still have family members that have been separated from them since the Korean War, which was back in 1950s to 1953.
Even our tour guide's grandma,
She
she has a
said-
twin sister who were lost in North Korea.
And she said, unfortunately, her grandma passed away last year without ever being able to reunite with her sister. But this is just one of the many stories of Korean families being separated. And here we have the Freedom Bridge, which was also very important. They said 12,000 soldiers crossed from here, from north back to the south. So they got freedom.
Along the wall on the other side, you can see colorful ribbons that family members from the south tie on the fence that represent the missing or separated family members in the north.
It's like blessings or wishes for them, and probably hope for reunification one day.
Do you think most people want reunification?
I think it's like a really divided.
Because I did read a few things about what are the consequences if the reunification happens, because there's such a big difference between the north and the south in terms of quality of life, in terms of economy, in terms of education.
Yeah, but also the north is like a dictatorship, communist place, and then the south is like a democratic. I guess also a more modern place, so
Yeah.
it would be very hard to balance that gap between them. It's so different. I feel like the older generation have a more sentimental feel to reunification, but I wonder what the young people feel like, because they might not have experienced this feeling.
This hardship,
This hardship, and they might not really have ties to the family members, because like the Korean War was 70 years ago, and even though it seemed like 1950 to 1953, like it's very short, but technically the war never ended. They signed a ceasefire in 1953.
So technically, South Korea and North Korea is still at war.
Yeah,
They just stopped shooting for now.
and it was like a temporary solution, but then it just dragged on for so long that now it's like, are they going to continue this, or is it going to be reunified? Yeah, I guess I feel like I never really looked into this as much and didn't really understand all the different parties, all the different countries that were involved. So I find it quite fascinating to be in this peace park, and also to like listen to our guide talk about how it all began after World War II. There's a train here too.
And it says, let the iron horse run again. I guess that's the iron horse, the steamer.
Well, the guide was saying that this train is basically facing this way,
Which is North Korea.
which is North Korea. So if they ever reunify, then this train would go towards that direction. And apparently also connect to China and Russia, she said.
Before that happened, they need to build the railway first.
Yeah, this part doesn't have a railway, but actually across there is a part of the railway there.
I see it, yeah.
And another interesting thing on this side of the park is this tiny house. So we did walk in there
You can
earlier.
buy North Korean money in it.
It's the
Pretty
only place,
interesting.
yeah, only place they say in maybe the world, except for if you go to North Korea to buy the money. And
It is sold by North Korea defectors.
yes, but it is supported by the South Korean government in order to help fund them readjusting to society here.
Pretty cool.
So on our way here on the bus, we were learning a bit about why the North Koreans want to come to South Korea. And we would think, oh, because like, you know, there's a lot of food, there's a lot of entertainment, there's, you know, lots of different quality of life is better here. But they don't know that, or they shouldn't know that. The main reason why they actually want to defect is just because of food shortage, that they're just hungry. They want better living standards, basically. And they don't try to come through the border to North Korea because there's 2 million landmines surrounding this border, basically.
Yeah.
So they would try to cross through the river. I think it was a river, or was it a lake?
It was a river between China and North Korea.
Yeah, and when it's winter and it's frozen,
It's
that
easier
is
to
the
cross.
easier way to cross. And if they are lucky and don't get shot down by the North Korean soldiers, then they cross into China, maybe go to Mongolia, maybe even head
To
down to
Thailand.
Thailand because there are consulates, South Korean consulates, and then they will get, you know, sent back to South Korea, where the government is willing to protect them and help them to adjust to life here. But it's also not easy.
They have to go through some kind of screening to make sure that they are not North Korean spies.
And then go through 12 weeks of almost like a training to make sure they know how to, you know, use credit cards, use cash,
Cell phone.
learn a little bit of the dialect here because it's slightly different from North Korea, and just try to learn how to adjust to life here, which is still not very easy for them. Yeah, it was just kind of interesting
Yeah.
to learn about this.
It's the part that we didn't really think of when you think of the conflict between North Korea and South Korea. You look good as South Korean soldier.
I'm a South Korean soldier, but they have to wear sunglasses. Do we have to wear sunglasses?
Yeah. There you go.
Now, and my enemies can't see my eyes.
Report to your duty.
Did I do it right?
You look pretty good.
You're probably better because you were actually a soldier. Lo-
So did you enjoy the tunnel?
That was actually quite interesting.
Yeah, I think so too.
So we entered from here and we walked down this really long walkway that the South Korean built for us to enter into the third tunnel, the third infiltration tunnel, which was built by the North Korean. But when they first discovered it, it was interesting because it was a North Korean defector that gave them the hint. And then they started looking for it, putting in PVC pipes, trying to find it, but they couldn't find it. And they asked the North Korean defector to be like, show us where this is in the DMZ. And unfortunately, he stepped on a landmine. So then he died and everything just kind of stopped. But at the same time, they also stopped digging from North Korea. So that's why nothing happened for a while until they started digging again, and then it caused an explosion of a PVC pipe, and that's when they found this tunnel. So we could walk all across this infiltration tunnel until the blockade, and we look into this box to see North Korea on that side, and we're about 170 meters away from North Korea.
7 seconds running,
Yeah.
if you want to.
Unfortunately, we couldn't film it inside, but I think that's kind of why you want to join a tour, to be able to experience it and see it for yourself, because it's more interesting to walk through and experience the dampness of the cave and the coldness of the cave and the uphill of the tunnel.
And the scale of it
And
is
the
quite
scale of
long.
it. For me, I'm like 164 cm. I have to bend down like this to walk through it because it is quite short. Yeah, it was quite neat. So this is our second stop, and I think we still have two more stops. Real quick, a big thank you to today's video sponsor, Klook. If you haven't heard of them, they are one of the world's leading online platforms for booking travel experiences. Since we're back in South Korea, the DMZ was something we didn't want to miss, so we went on Klook to check out the tours. As you can see, there are so many options, but it was easy to decide after seeing so many positive reviews, and they also had a sale going on. The booking was instant. All the details were right there in the app, and it just made the whole process super simple. And the best part is Klook is not just for tours. We've also used it for booking airport transfers, and you can use it to book attraction tickets, hotels, trains, SIM cards, eSIMs, and more. Both the website and the app are super user-friendly. You can set your language and currency, and I always check the traveler reviews before booking. Plus, the prices are really competitive, and they run promos and flash sales all the time. You can even earn Klook cash for future bookings. So if you're planning your own travels, definitely check out Klook. You can scan the QR code or click the link in our description to download the app. And don't forget to use our code Flora and Note to get an exclusive discount, and you'll be helping to support our channel at the same time. Now let's get back to the video.
Doesn't it make you wonder how many secret tunnels there are that haven't been discovered?
Yeah, because this is only the third one, and they know of 4, but there must be a lot more.
Yeah.
And also, what else I find fascinating about the tunnel is when it was discovered, North Korea said it wasn't us. It said South Koreans built it. The South Koreans like, we obviously didn't build it. And then the North Koreans said, oh, it was because we were looking for coal. But there's actually no coal in this region. So eventually they were like, okay, yeah, it was us. We were planning to invade.
It's a typical war stuff where you just blame each other. You try not to admit your mistake.
Yeah.
The tunnel that have been found, yeah. And we are finally at the DMZ,
which is the Demilitarized zone.
This is the closest we can get to North Korea until we actually cross the border. Is there a border we can cross? There is a line we can cross to North Korea?
Oh! Wow! This is not actually crossing the border, but this is, you will feel like you did.
Okay, hold on. You ready for this?
I'm ready for this.
Okay. Once you cross, you can't come back.
It's the jump of no return.
Welcome to North Korea! Annyeong.
I miss Korean food too much. I'm gonna come back. Welcome back. Even though we are joking and having fun here, but it's actually very significant to a lot of people. Standing here, actually feeling like I'm in the south, you're in the north, and you cannot be together is actually very heartbreaking for a lot of families. So it is very significant, even though it's just a little map in this corner of the park. But hopefully one day it can be a reality that people can
freely
reunite.
cross.
Yeah.
I'm actually amazed that there are not that many army or soldiers stationed around here. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's because it's a tourist spot.
Only around the checkpoint area, but I think we still have to go further in, maybe. Like they're going to an observatory next, so maybe there's going to be more soldiers. But we actually can't take photos of soldiers anyway, so even if we see them, we cannot film them.
And soldiers here are mandatory duty in Korea, and a lot of people do it in their early 20s, right after they graduate, so they don't have to take time off work to go to the army.
Or
so they do it right after school.
Or they're too old where, you know, their bodies are not the same as their early 20s anymore.
Just
they want
like
to do it. They want to do it young, and no exceptions. Even like celebrities and, you know, K-pop stars. It's a big deal in Korea when like they come out of the army. Everyone gets really excited.
And it usually takes about 18 to 21 months, depends on what kind of army you're in. whether it's infantry, navy, or air force, it's different time. And I served 1 year in the Thai army. Like Flora said, you don't want to go in early, but I went in at very later
How old
year,
are you again?
28.
Yeah.
So I was the oldest. Everyone else was 21. And I did have a hard time fitting in because I'm older.
And you were telling me that in the army, it doesn't matter what age you are, it's
No.
about seniority.
Yeah.
So it's almost weirder as a 28-year-old, you'll have to,
Look up to a 21 years old
yeah, but
army
that's,
that was there first.
but that's all part of the system, right?
Mhm. Kind of surreal feeling staring at North Korea right now
Yeah.
in front of us, but we're not allowed to point the camera towards North Korea for security reasons.
But we're here in this air-conditioned observatory, having coffee and a bagel, looking across from us. And there's like an invisible border. It's not like a wall or something like that. But basically, we can see the South Korean flag, the North Korean flag, and there's a funny story about it as well. I don't remember who did it first, but I think the North Korean put a flag down, and South Korean is like, you know what, we're just gonna up it a little bit and make it taller. And
I think
then-
it started from 30 meters on one side, and the other side went 45, and the other side went 60, and on and on and on and on. And
until
now,
160
60
meters
meters.
on the North Korea side, which is a Guinness
World
World Record.
record.
And South Korea is like,
Forget
you know
it.
what, yeah, forget it.
but the border is it 160 miles long? So
250 kilometers long that stretch from east to west of the Korean peninsula.
and 4 kilometers
Wide.
So 2 into North Korea and 2 into South Korea. So it's like a buffer zone.
Yeah.
And it's just, as Flora mentioned before, full of landmines, millions of them.
2 million landmines. On the South Korean side, you can see it's really lush, but actually on the North Korean side, it's quite
Bare.
like bare. There's a reason for it though. Our guide was saying that because they want to make sure there's no defectors crossing over, so they cut the trees, they cut the grass, make it really, really flat, so they're able to see
To
and
spot.
identify them. So before we sat down at the cafe, we actually went upstairs where you can, in the open air, look at binoculars to look across to the other side. I actually saw a couple people. I saw a couple of people standing in front of this banner on the street, and I also saw a man running on the other side. Like, looked like he's going for a jog.
People up there were so excited to see another human being across the other side. They was like, oh my God, there's a guy running.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's a guy on the tractor.
I mean, we're looking at them, they're probably looking at us. When we're looking at the binoculars, they're probably also looking at us.
Yeah.
That's why Hannah, our guide, was like, just smile and wave. So right now it's 12. We just drove past Unification Village into, I guess this restaurant is also still part of the village as well. But we're gonna have lunch here. It's additional to the tour. It looks
But it's only 10,000 per person.
Yeah, it looks like
Buffet.
it's 10,000 per person.
Oh, it's actually 13,000. That's not bad. It's like $8.
Oh, that looks like a
per
lot
person.
of food.
We
Wow.
got steamed rice,
Yes. Ooh, this is pork?
pork bulgogi.
Oh, there's a spicy and non-spicy version as well. This looks so good. Here, I'll get you not as oily part.
Oh yeah.
And, ooh, fish cake, and mushrooms. I love that there's so much vegetables.
We are actually in the safest village in South Korea
Yeah.
because, well, there's no police here, there's no thief, there's no beggars.
They
Because
say all the houses don't have a main gate because it's protected by the
Military.
The military.
because it's right at the border.
But most of the people who live here are actually farmers. So they're farming rice, soybeans, an expensive thing, which is ginseng. So a lot of them live here and they're not willing to sell their houses as well because they believe that one day when they reunite, this is going to be the most convenient location for them to commute from north to south or south to north. And also I think their ancestors are probably also from the north as well, so sentimental value as well. How's the food?
Pretty good. So this bed is very delicious. Like the seaweed and Korean steamed rice. I like Korean steamed rice. It's between Thai jasmine rice and sticky rice.
Yeah,
The grains are big and it's sticky.
yeah, it's really sticky actually.
Some bulgogi beef, pickled daikon, and kimchi. Wow. Look at that.
The perfect bite.
Pachita. This is very good value. Lots of good options. Ginseng beer.
Ginseng rice beer.
Oh, interesting.
Would you like to try one? Should
Yeah,
we buy
can we
one
buy
as a
one?
souvenir?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool. I don't know if you can get this one in the city or not, because there's some products here that are DMZ exclusive products, even like North Korean defector wine,
Oh,
which
really?
she said tastes like cognac. And there's like a weird saying that the alcohol from the north is better than the south because they have learned how to make alcohol from the Russians. So yeah, they're selling like that here, but that's too strong for us. I think we should buy one of these.
Very nice packaging too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to try this.
Or I also saw like a 20-kilo bag of rice. Do you want to buy that as a
No,
souvenir?
that's too
DMZ
heavy.
rice.
Is it how you usually sit?
No, and it's actually really hot. 36 degrees. You told me to pose. Come on, let's go walk the bridge. So we have now left the DMZ zone. You can tell already. There's less cameras,
No barbed wires.
no barbed wires, and more beautiful nature. This is the Mahjong Lake. Apparently, it was also part of a battlefield back then, so they were still,
During the Korean War.
yeah, so they were finding bodies, was it bodies? And then
Yeah.
swiping their DNA to match who these people were. But it's also a very popular spot for Koreans to come and enjoy nature because all of this turns like autumn colors, beautiful, like fall foliage, probably in a month or so, I think.
Oh, I can imagine in the winter this would be so beautiful.
This is also the longest pedestrian suspension bridge in South Korea. So it's 220 meters long.
Okay,
Okay, we're gonna walk this way? Okay,
we're
okay.
gonna pretend there's no camera.
Yeah, we're gonna look this way.
Wow, this is quite nice.
Beautiful.
After walking the suspension bridge in Nepal, no suspension bridge in the world will scare me now.
That is very true.
This one is very solid. Come over here, there's a glass bridge. You can see through. But it's so dirty, it doesn't
It's
make
so
a difference.
dirty that you're not even scared. Last year when we came to Korea, it was October.
It was cold.
It was cold. I came here and I had to buy a thick
Jacket.
silver jacket, puffy jacket. But this year, it's what, September right now?
Early
September.
And it's extremely hot.
Yeah, it's just like a month difference, but the temperature feels so different. But we did ask some locals, and they were saying that it is a lot more humid and hot than usual for a September. So yeah,
Global warming is real.
It is real. It really is probably over like 35 degrees
Yeah.
right now.
Feels like we're in Thailand.
I
Feels like
feel
home.
like it's hotter than Samui, to be honest, because at least in Samui we get the ocean breeze.
Well, that turned out to be a pretty nice day.
Yeah, it was an interesting tour because prior to this I wasn't really sure what to expect, but coming here and hearing all the stories, the history about the Korean War, it makes me feel like coming here is seeing a part of history but also the future, because it's still ongoing. A lot of things is happening, and I didn't really share too much about how the Korean War started, but if you do a little bit of research, then you'll know like why China is involved, why Russia is involved, why US is involved, and still now in the news you see all those allies involved in this bigger picture of North and South Korea and how it's divided at the moment.
So if you come to Seoul, we highly recommend to do this tour. It's a quick day trip and it's totally worth it. We'll leave the link to the tour in our description.
And we booked this one on Klook, and I think we were really lucky because we also got Hannah as our guide, and not only is she funny and she's a really good guide, but she also has a personal tie to the North and South Korea and the families that were separated. So she gave a really cool insight. So I hope you guys are as lucky as us and get Hannah as a guide.
Thanks again for watching, and as always, have a wonderful day. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye!
Bye-bye.